I guess we are like,
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Placement Insights Day 2. Today's session is a special one, for we have our senior who is going to share his experience of the hiring process of the company he got placed in to guide our students. So we have Aditya Barve from BTech Computer batch of 2022. Before we start this interview, Aditya, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
yeah, sure. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. So my name is Aditya Barve. I'm currently a final year student. So talking about some internships and placements. So basically, I've done till now three internships. So one was at a startup called Zeek Labs. Then next was at University of Zurich. So it was a research-based internship. And also I've done an internship at Cisco. So Cisco is a multinational company, like many of you might know that. So and also I've been placed at EQ Technologic in our on-campus drive, and I've received a PPO offer, like pre-placement offer from Cisco as well. So like that was about placements.
Well, that is amazing, Aditya. Congratulations and welcome again. So, you told us about the internships you did, the jobs you have landed, the PPO you have. So, what, in your opinion, is a perfect resume?
So resume, so like yeah, resume is like one of the most important things because based on that only you're going to get shortlisted further. So if your resume is not proper, then even if you're like a good candidate, you will not be able to attend the interviews as well. So basically, like the first step in the whole recruitment process is your resume only. So basically, an ideal resume according to me should have like a few sections. So I'll just name the sections. So first one is like it should have your previous work experience because the main thing which the company which is going to hire you cares about is what have you done in the past. So that is one thing. So your previous work experience. Then the next thing is your achievement. So like if you have done anything like so like if you have won any competition, like or have you any
Like
like if you
hackathons.
have, yeah, hackathon. So like if I talk about my resume, so in my work experience I had written like the few internships which I had done, and then in achievement section. So like so me and my team were the winner of Smart India Hackathon 2022. So I had written that. Then like I had won various coding competitions also. So I had written that. Then you can also write your rankings in particular coding sites. So if you talk about CodeChef or LeetCode or any other coding site, so they have rankings also. Like in CodeChef, you have 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. So you can also mention that in your resume. So it also creates an impact on the recruiter. So various things you can mention in achievements. Then after achievements comes like the project section. So this section becomes more important if you don't have work experience. So if you don't have work experience, the major your major focus should go on the project section. But if you have work experience, then you can like minimize the sections a bit. So you can
So, this
adjust
applies
accordingly.
to those students who have not done any internships as of now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah, basically in my first before getting my first internship, the main focus which I had given were on two sections, projects and achievement section. So and like gradually when you gain internship experience, then you can add that add that also. So in project section, like I would say that you should have a maximum of two projects, like like ideal one project and maximum of two projects, and that should be given in detail. Like so basically the project section should not be defined by quantity but instead of quality. Like you should like mention one or two projects, but it should be of high quality. So that is another thing which students like miss. They mention like 3 4 projects. So a recruiter doesn't have that much time to go through all of your projects. But if you create the impression within one project, then that would be like um, an ideal scenario. So that is one thing. So yeah, so these three sections are the main in resume where which you should like give most your time to.
All right, that is great. So, you did multiple internships, right? Um, can you tell us about the internships you did, the roles you had, the work you did, in just brief?
Okay, sure. So my first internship was after my second year. So in our college, like we have the summer internship program after second year. So for that, like I had done an internship at a startup called Zeek Labs. So that was an internship in Django and Django REST framework. So I was involved in backend development of website. So at first I
So,
worked
were
there for
you
two.
thorough with Django before getting this
Uh,
internship?
No, like I was thorough in different frameworks. So if you have heard about Mean Start, so I was thorough in Mean Stack, but but the recruiter wasn't checking if I was thorough in one particular frame, like in Django or not. He was checking if at least I'm thorough in one of the frameworks. So basically, you should not know a particular technology. You should have at least idea of how web development works. So that was the thing the recruiter was checking at that time.
So you
So
should be
because
familiar with basics. That
yeah, you should
was.
be familiar with at least one framework. So if you know one framework, then learning another framework is not that big of a job. So you can learn another framework if you are confident in one. So in my internship only I learned Django and Django REST. So the internship at start was of 2 months. Then I extended it for 6 months also. Like uh, while doing college, I was doing internship because it was online, right? So I was managing both college and internship at that time. So after this particular internship, I also like got an internship at University of Zurich. So under a postdoctoral professor. So his name was Aaron Horvath. So so I was doing a research internship under him for 2 months, like from January to March. And after that, after completion of this internship, I was just searching for internship after third year, because after third year also we have to do an internship at college, and that one is graded. So I didn't have any internship at that point. So I was searching for like, are there any current openings or not for like in the summer of 2022. So that's when I came across the opening at summer internship opening at Cisco. So I applied for it, and the recruitment, like first round was like resume shortlisting only, and after resume shortlisting, we were given a coding test basically on HackerRank platform, and after that, like the interviews and all took place. So like there were 3 to 4 interviews, and after that, the internship was there. So yeah. Uh, Hello. Maybe there might be a network issue.
Yeah, she'll be joining back in a minute, and she's
Sure, sure.
yeah.
Sorry, guys. Right. So did you tell my viewers what you were telling?
Yeah, I told about the internships which I had done.
Okay, all right. So that was great. Um, you told us about the projects, the internships you did. Uh, but can you tell us which platform you use to get these internships? Like there are multiple platforms.
Hmm.
How?
Okay, so like I had used various platforms so for getting different internships. So my first internship was like which I got in a startup was through Internshala. So many of you might have heard it. So it is a platform like solely based on internships only. They give internships to students. So my first internship was from that. Then my second internship was directly through career page only. Like I went to the career page of University of Zurich, and there was an opening for like intern like software intern. So I had applied for that, and my third internship was also directly from career page only. So like I directly went to the career page of Cisco and directly applied for it. One thing I would like to mention is that so I directly applied for Cisco's internship, but what I would recommend to other people is that whenever you are applying for a company, I recommend you to get a referral before directly applying for that role. So you can get a referral from platforms like LinkedIn. So suppose you want to apply at a role at Google, so you can like just send 15 20 connection request to employees at Google, and like when they accept your connection request, you can just message in that you are interested in this particular role and you want referral for this, and you can also mention your achievements or why you should get this referral. So when you get a referral, so it is basically like a recommendation from that employee. So the chances of you getting like moving forward, your resume getting shortlisted increases drastically when you get a referral.
But I've
So
heard
you
that
can.
you have to, like message like hundreds of people for
Yeah, yeah.
referrals.
Yeah, so like it isn't that big of a deal. You just have to create one message. Just create one message. Just change the name of person and send it to like just like cold message everyone. So
Okay.
basically, what I do is like I have 20 to the like for a particular company. If I have 40 50 connection, I just copy paste the message to every employee. Just change their name. So yeah.
Okay. What do you think of Twitter as a platform for networking?
Yeah, Twitter is also great, but I personally haven't used Twitter that much yet. I like like for networking, I use LinkedIn only right as of now.
Okay,
So
okay.
I can like I'm also thinking of joining Twitter. So let's see.
All right, all right. Can you give us a quick run through of how these hiring processes happened, like the stages?
Mhm. Yeah, sure. So mostly the first round, as I mentioned, is resume shortlisting only. You directly apply to the company's website or uh, so like similar kind of stuff. Their resume gets shortlisted, and after resume shortlisting, mostly there is one online assessment. So the online assessment is mostly based off coding questions. So my online assessment had two coding questions which I had to do in 1 hour. So, but most of the times you can have aptitude questions mixed in as well with coding questions, or you can have computer science fundamental questions mixed in. So it completely depends on the company. But Cisco's recruitment, it was mostly like surrounding coding questions, and after that you have interviews. So basically you have technical interviews, then managerial interviews, and HR interviews. So in interviews also mostly you're asked coding questions, then yes, computer science fundamentals. So like there are only 3 4 topics which interviewers focus on. Like first is coding, then computer science fundamentals. In that you have DBMS. So you might have studied these subjects already. So you can just revise, brush them up before interview. So like DBMS, computer networks, then object-oriented programming, and operating
Operating
systems.
systems. Yeah.
Yeah, operating systems. So these 4 subjects are the main. So and aptitude. So you can focus on these things, and interviews mostly ask these things only.
So how did you prepare for the interviews actually?
Acha, okay. So for interviews, for coding, basically, like I was doing competitive programming. So many of you might have heard that. So competitive programming is basically like you have to you have to compete with people across the globe using programming. So basically, you have been given 4 to 5 programming questions of varying difficulty, and whoever solves the most question, or whoever solves the questions the fastest, gets a better rank, and so on. So like if you get a better rank, your rating increases or your rating decreases. So rating is basically your points kind of. So if you have a particular amount of rating, then you get uh, so you are in one of the classes. So like each platform has different classes. So like in CodeShare there is 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. Then again in Lead Code there is Knight, Guardian, and again on Codeforces there are different classes. So based on your points you get different classes. So that is, I think, one of the best ways to prepare for interviews, because you have to solve the questions in a timely fashion, and that is what is required in interviews also, because the interviewer will ask you questions and you have to solve it in like a limited amount of time. So I've been doing that for like from like, the second semester of second year. So basically because of that only my interview preparation had happened. And computer science fundamentals, for that I would recommend you to make notes of the basic subject which I just mentioned. Like if you're doing preparing the notes during the course when the courses got taught at college, that is good. Otherwise you can also prepare the notes when your interviews are coming close, so it won't take that much of time. So
Right.
that was some things which I had made
That
prepare.
was great. But which platform would you recommend the most for coding? Like because
Okay.
you are doing competitive programming, right? So which platform you think is the best for preparation of such coding rounds?
Okay. So at first, I would recommend you to, for getting familiar with the usual coding questions, I would familiar Geeks for Geeks or Lead Code. So basically, both of them are same only. The level of questions are also same, and mostly the questions are also same. Like exact questions you will find in both the platforms. So you can either go to Geeks for Geeks or Lead Code, and you can solve the easy category questions or basic category questions there. And you can just get an idea of what kind of questions are asked in basically in interviews and all. And once you have gained like a little bit of experience, you can shift to CodeChef and Codeforces. So basically these are platforms solely for competitive programming. So like if you use these platforms, you will like definitely get uh, your interview preparation will definitely be covered. So because the level of questions asked there is also good. So these are
Okay.
so to summarize my answer, basically start with Geeks for Geeks or Lead Code, and then move on to CodeChef, Codeforces. Yeah.
Right. So, how would you rate the problems that you face in the interviews? Like the level of the coding questions. Are they medium? Are they hard? Like, how would you rate them?
Okay. Okay, so mostly, as I mentioned, there is first of all online assessment, and then there are coding questions which are asked in actual interviews. So if I rate them according to difficulty, the coding questions which are asked in online assessment are like quite hard, so like medium to hard, and the coding questions which are asked in actual interviews are easy to medium. So basically, so if you crack the online assessment of a company, there are very high chances that you will be able to crack the rest of the process. So yeah, that is the difficulty.
Okay. So, what do you think? Like, a college going student who comes back from college at like 4 or 5 p.m., how much time should that student devote to coding and projects and stuff like that on a daily basis?
Okay, so I think like 2 3 hours would be sufficient if you're coming back from college like around 5. So you can like try to allocate to at least 2 hours to programming or to technical stuff. So that would be sufficient, and basically utilize your weekends at the fullest. So if you're not getting time in the weekdays, so utilize your weekends because that would be free. In our college, Saturday Sundays are off only, so you can like give most of your time then also. So
Okay.
completely depends on you how would you manage your time. But I would say like giving 2 to 3 hours a day would be like optimal.
Okay, so guys, we also have Sumit Mahajan joining us on this session. Sumit is from BTech IT batch of 2022. Hello, Sumit.
Hey, hi Divanshu.
So, can you please introduce yourself for our viewers?
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Sumit Mahajan and I am from BTech IT from MIT Academy of Engineering. And I've recently got opportunities from BMC Software and Cisco. And currently I am doing SG internship in OK Credit.
Okay, that is great. It's great to have you here. Welcome again. So we were just talking with Aditya, and he was telling us about what a perfect resume looks like. What is your take on this?
See, for perfect resume, first of all, you should be genuine to your resume. That's the key part of it. Whatever you are putting in your resume, that should be genuine. Everything which you have done, that should be actually done by you only. If you're copying just the projects and just showing in your resume, that doesn't matter a single point also. And keeping at plus points, you should have some prior internships that will give you the plus points while you're doing the college also, and you're doing some internships that gives you plus points. And talking about some projects, it doesn't matter, like you should do 3 to 4 projects. Just 1 or 2 projects are sufficient. That project should be good enough to give the bank to all the projects which have been considered to your competitors. And taking part to your skills, the skill set which you have to mention, the skill set should be in such a manner that you are fullest in it, like you know everything about it. Let it be any interviewer and he can ask anything about the skills you have mentioned. So that skills which you have mentioned, that should be perfect one for you. And it's not necessary, no one expects that you should know 5 to 6 languages and you should known to all the tech stack which are required by the company. They don't expect you from that manner. They just expect that whatever you are doing, you are good in it. So that is much required. And the objective, what the objective which you are giving in your resume, that should also be like kind of attractive to the interviewer. And plus, like you can also mention some achievements which you have done in your college, like whatever the achievements you have taken, that should be also mentioned. So I think this can create a good resume for you.
What sort of projects would you recommend to a second or third year student to add in the resume?
See, particularly if we see, actually, we are in the world where new technologies have born up, and we have seen like AI, machine learning, data science. But in sense, if you see that for a fresher, no one entertains as a AI, ML or a data science for a data science opening. So, according to me, I'm really enthusiastic to work on such a project that are related to our core subjects. Take for example operating system, or for example DBMS. That kind of stuff may attract to the interviewer because that are related to your core subjects, and you have shown like you can use your core subject as an application to create a project. So that can be something quite interesting to the interview, because they are quietly interested to see how you are known with your core subjects. If you it's okay, like if you are working on AI/ML and data science projects, that's not means kind of problem, like you are not working on data science and AI, artificial and machine learning. But the point comes over there, like if you are working on the core subjects thoroughly and you are creating some projects on it, then interviewer may have some attention to you.
Okay, so um, there is a lot of enthusiasm in the comments, and they want to know how did you land your internships? Okay, like how did you go through it? How did you land those? Tell us about that.
Okay, so after the completion of second year, it was compulsory to us, like we should do the internship, or I guess there was one different way also, but we go with internship, and I got the internship Pixel Set E Solutions first as a full stack developer. So we worked on there for a government project, and afterwards, like I got an internship in the next startup as a Fame Pilot Internet Private Limited. So that was my second internship. As there, I worked as a backend developer using the tech stack as Django and Django REST framework. And afterwards, like I've got the internship from BMC Software, like from college only. Like from college, we have got the internship in BMC Software, and in BMC Software, we were asked to work on automation parts using the Python tools and all. And then like now I'm working in OK Credit as a SDA intern.
Okay, so which platform did you use to land these internships?
So basically, like it's not
Like
related to any
Aditya
platform.
here, he used Internshala, and then he referred the career pages of these different companies he got internships in. So how did you go
Yeah,
about
right.
it?
Yeah, right. Like actually, the internships which I've got are from some career pages and some from Internshala. But from our point of view, like Aditya and me also, we will suggest like you should try to apply as much as possible for any of the role, means which you are interested in, obviously. But you should apply wherever possible, because don't think like you will be not selected and what will happen next. The next is always the next question, but try to apply as much as possible, because who knows, like you will get selected and there should be not any guilt like why didn't I apply. So you should keep applying as much as possible, and maybe like you will land to your dream job.
What do you guys think of an unpaid internship? Aditya.
I wouldn't recommend doing unpaid internships because so like so at least unpaid is okay. I have seen internships where you have to give money to them to get an internship. So
Those
that
are
is something.
scams.
Yeah, those are scams. So don't get in those. And also unpaid internships. Also, if you think you are working on something great, so like if you're working on a good technology, then that is okay. If you're learning something from it. But if they are giving you tasks which are not like quite technical, like they are just giving you just a trivial task. So I would suggest like instead of doing that, prepare on your own and then grab a good internship. So,
What do you think, Sumit?
Yeah, same like Aditya only. Like it doesn't matter like it is paid or unpaid. The main point comes over here, like on what tech stack and what project you would be working on. You should be working on your interest. Like if you're working as a developer, so that's the point comes in, like you should develop something good in technology which you would be working in. So that's the most important part.
Okay, so we asked this to Aditya as well. How did you prepare for your coding rounds in the, when you were like getting hired? Like, how did you prepare for the coding rounds and aptitude rounds?
See, for like preparation, you should start working on your coding skills, because skill is not developed in a day. It should be practiced on your daily basis. So if you are trying to develop your skill in coding, like practice as much as possible, and don't skip it. Like in coding, we have seen and we have also experienced like consistency is the main key. So if you are following the coding in proper like every day, then it's already possible, like it's actually possible, like you can crack any coding interview round. And for
So how
aptitude,
much? Yeah,
mhm.
coming to that, but how much time do you think? Like Aditya says, you should devote 2 hours, on a daily basis for coding. How much time you think we should, code on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's right, like we should at least devote 2 hours a day, but you should also see like at least one problem should be solved by you in a day, like that can be also followed by you. And while solving the problems, you should see like there are different types of problems, say for example stack queues, dp problems, greedy problems. So usually we have seen like juniors try to follow, like they will solve one question and they will leave that topic and they will go to the next topic. It's not like that, because we should solve at least 20 to 30 problems for a particular type. Like for example stack, if you're solving some problems, you should at least solve 20 to 30 problems, because that will give you the great exposure to that problem which you're solving. And the next, when you will come across some kind of that type only, then you will get the sense like this was the parent problem related to this, and you can be able to solve it easily. So we will actually suggest like you should grind yourself at least to 20 to 30 problems for a particular type, and then move on to the next one.
Okay, that is great insight. So basically, how much time should one invest, in college studies? Because we know that CGPA matters, right? So Aditya, what do you think?
Yeah, so CGPA matters. So like it differs where you're applying. So if it is an on-campus opening, then definitely it matters. But if you're applying on off-campus, then like the importance is not given that much to CGPA. Just there is a cutoff, like you should have 8.5 above it, and that's it. But in on-campus opportunities, what happens is that like they give a cutoff similar to off-campus only, like 8.5 above are allowed. But because of the number of applications is high, they like use some other kind of criteria like your 12th percentage something or your CGPA, and they take only top people like top 100 or top 150. So in that case, your CGPA like matters a lot. So basically, like like maintaining CGPA is not that difficult. You just have to study for exam like 3 4 days before like starting the exams. That should be sufficient, I guess. So instead of like preparing in one night, I think if you prepare like 3 to 4 days earlier, then you won't have the problem of CGPA.
Okay, what do you think, Sumit? How much time should one devote to, college studies? Because
Yeah, like
they form our core subjects, CN, OS, operating systems. Okay, so how much time should you think we should devote to studying
see,
in
like
college?
my point of view is same with Aditya only, like we should at least devote some 3 to 4 days before like your exam. And whatever the concepts which are important, like you think that are important to your career, that should be followed the most, means you should learn that the at the most. And whatever like you think like ye to koi kaam ka nahi hai, to theek hai, like you should just don't take it granted. But you should devote 3 to 4 hours, that 3 to 4 days, sorry. And it will be okay, like you can get good marks in that 3 to 4 days study only.
Yeah,
That
like
is how
allocation can
us engineers study 3 to 4 days before exams. Yeah, Aditya, you were
yeah,
saying something.
yeah. I was saying that you don't need to allocate each day to college studies. You just have
Right.
to study 3 to 4 days before exams. That is sufficient.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Moise Buhari is asking which projects are more of importance nowadays, like web development, AI, ML, like which projects are of interest? Aditya.
Uh, so I would say like one project of web development and one project of machine learning or any elective which you've chosen would be ideal case because like a lot of machine learning will also be not. So suppose if I take my example, so my open elective is machine learning. So if I put one or two two projects of machine learning only, so that will also be not an ideal scenario because the company might not be hiring for a machine learning engineer. They might be interested in hiring for a software engineer where my web development skills or like skills related to web development might be more useful. So if I put one web development project and one open elective project, that would be like a great combination, because the company will like see that you are also good in web development, and apart from that, you're also exploring some new age technologies also. So that.
Sumit, your take on this?
Yeah, the best view I can say is like we can have one web development project which is good, which can tell your DBMS skills also. Any relational or non-relational database which you would be working, that can be integrated in your web development part. And second, coming up with AIML or data science, whichever you would be working, you can have one project for that also. And third, like I will personally suggest, like you should also have one project related to your core subjects like operating system, your computer networks, anyone like which you have learned in your core subjects, that may give you a plus points also.
Okay, so did you guys participate in any sort of hackathons and all that stuff? And do you think it is, beneficial to your resume? Sumit, let's start with you.
Yeah, actually, like one of like Cisco Ideathon was kind of hackathon only, which from which I have got the offer from Cisco. So yeah, like Cisco and hackathons are really important because they just gives you the plus point which you will be putting in your resume. Because whenever the interviewer sees like you have participated in the hackathons, they get the exposure like you are enthusiastic person and like to compete in hackathons and all. So yeah, that may give you a plus points.
Okay, that is cool. Aditya, what do you think?
Yeah, so like hackathons are, so if you're participating in some hackathons, then that would be definitely will be a plus point when you're getting interviewed. So you can talk about the hackathons project. So basically, in my case, so me and my team had won the Smart India hackathon. So I had mentioned that in my resume. So if the so that can be one of the plus points. So whenever I'm interviewing if the interviewer sees in my resume that I've won a national level competition, or apart from that also like you can also participate in some coding competitions apart from hackathon. So like there are many coding competitions like Google Kickstart or Google Code Jam, Facebook Hacker Cup, so apart from hackathons, and also on college levels also. So if you see, each college is having a tech fest, so just as our college. So if you participate in tech fest of good colleges like IITs and ITs, and if you are getting a decent enough rank there, so that can also be one of the plus point. So yeah, definitely like hackathon. If you're participating in hackathon, that can be one of the plus point.
So many of our viewers are also, first year or second year students. So which language would you recommend them, for getting passed through these coding rounds? Which language you think is the best? Sumit.
Like I will suggest, like don't take a suggestion from me or Aditya. Yeah, you should be able to learn like whichever you are comfortable with. You should go with that language, because you see like any good MNCs will never give you a barrier for your language. Whichever language in which you are comfortable, they will allow you to code in that language. And I don't think so like any company will tell you like you should code in that language only. More specifically, if we see like I do code in Python, because from first year, like when I learned Python, I was much comfortable in it and I went it through that only. So whenever I do competitive programming, I do code in Python only.
Okay, so Aditya, which language are you biased towards?
Okay, so I personally use C++, but I'm not biased towards it. So frankly, as Sumit said, it doesn't matter in an interview which language you use, or like it just matters what logic you have developed. So logic matters more than which language you are using to code that logic. So that's my take on it. So whichever language you are comfortable in, just go ahead with it. Only like keep in mind that some things like some concepts like pointers are only in C++ and Java. So if you are using Python, then definitely cover these concepts also. There is no problem in
Right.
using Python, but you can just cover these concepts additionally.
So to summarize, guys, don't think about languages, think about logic and algorithm. Okay, so which skill you think that students should have, like web development, machine learning, etc. Like, what skill you think they should know about? Sumit.
um, like if you are from on if you're applied to on campus, then the roadmap is to like easy way. So in on campus placements, they just expect like you should be good in your core subjects, and add on to it you should be knowing some data structure and algorithms and good coding skills. And apart from this, like if you are having the skill of web development or take on like AI/ML or data science, then this will just reflect you like you are working more on the new technologies also, or you have done web development also. So this will be considered as a plus point. As a on campus opportunity, I don't think so like they will ask you on this, or take a grind on you like you are you able to just develop a front end page or write a query in backend just to integrate it. They don't expect you from that way. And looking at off campus opportunity, we know like there is a huge amount of competition. So you need to outstand, right? Like you need to outstand in off campus opportunities. So there will be a requirement like you should be known to some new technology which will take you forward from the queue, and which will show some points like you know this also, you are known with these languages, this technology also. So that
Can
will
you give
just
us
give
an
some plus
example
point.
of these new technologies that you just mentioned, like as of now?
Mm, yeah, so like for web development, if you are comfortable with Python, you can work as a work for Django and Django REST framework as a backend part, or Node.js like Mina Mun stack. You can work with that also for web development, because these are the latest technology where most of the companies are working with, or may startup also work with this also. And looking at AML and data science, these are the open elective course in our college. Like you can take that also. I don't have good exposure about cloud computing, but that is also good for you. And some blockchain and all that, that is also like a plus point consideration.
That is great. Aditya, what skill would you suggest?
Uh, yeah, so I would suggest uh, so basically what I'm seeing right now, like many students are doing is they explore a lot of skills, and like they are not at any acceptable level in any of the skills. So like they are doing web development also, computer programming also, then AI ML also, cloud computing also, but they are not like वो है ना एक लेवल पे नहीं पहुंच रहे वो एक भी स्किल में. So that is one thing which you should avoid. So if you're thinking about doing one skill, you should like try to master that particular skill. So if I talk about web development, try to so afterwards just don't stop after learning a framework and all. You can participate in hackathons, then you can participate in Google Summer of Code. There are various high level competitions for development activities also. So try to crack those. Or if you're focusing on competitive programming, then again try to get a decent ranking or rating in that. So that would be more good. So instead of like exploring a lot of things and not doing better in any of it. So what I would suggest is that you should explore. So DSA is mandatory. So if you're doing development, don't think that you'll not do DSA anything. Like I have to master development, I'll not do DSA. So DSA is mandatory because all companies are going to ask it. And apart from that, you can learn one or two frameworks. And then depending on your interest, so you have done DSA also and development also, like one or two frameworks. And depending on your interest, you can master either one of them. So like you can either go towards competitive programming or the development side. So that is like what I would recommend.
Okay, so Avish Khandelwal here is asking any good opportunities you are aware of for third year students as of now.
For like we will suggest like there are multiple telegram accounts like take for example Arsh Goel, Mukul Code. They do give on regular basis opportunities for third year, second year and BTech students. So create a telegram account and do follow them, because they regularly keep posting the opportunities. So like you will confirmly get like 1 to 2 opportunities monthly in their channel.
Can you please repeat the channel names for the viewers?
Arsh Goel, it's one. Code with Mukul is second. Like Aditya, can you just tell more of them? Like you know.
Sure. So as Sumit mentioned, Arsh Goel is like definitely follow Arsh Goel because he posts various opportunities. I also came to know about Cisco's internship from him only. So you can follow him. He has a YouTube channel also. Then I also follow Kushal Vijay, so you can take a note of
Sure.
that also. So he is another like influencer which posts uh, who posts about these opportunities, so you can follow them. And talking about any current opportunities, you can check out their channels if there are any current opportunities. So there definitely would be some internship opportunities for third years also. And apart from that, you can also check out the internship which I had done in ETS Zurich and University of Zurich. So they would be opening around November, I guess. So you can check out that also, and so
Okay.
definitely apply for that.
Okay, guys, please take a note of these channels. And Harshada Gaikwad is asking, can you suggest some websites from where we can get internships other than Internshala? Sumit.
Like you can just check on the careers page, because I also don't know, like leaving internshala, there is any platform which will provide you the genuine internships. So you can just keep on searching on the careers page. That may give you like tell you the insights of like which internships are available.
Guys, they are pros. They're always checking career pages. You should do that too. Aditya, what do you think?
Yeah, so like career pages is the best way to check, because it is guaranteed that the internship are at least authentic. Because if you're applying from Internshala, I have seen some cases on Internshala as well. So like you apply and it turns out to be a scam internship. So sometimes you also lose money if you're not careful in that. So the best way would be from career pages only, because that those internship would be authentic. And like it's easy only. So if you follow these Telegram channels, they'll post like the links also where you have to go and directly apply. So it's not like that difficult.
But generally, students like us, they aim for big companies. We go check big known companies and their career pages. But the truth is, like people who are starting their internships, they start with small startups and small companies. So how do you search for them?
Uh, so if I talk about my case, so I so after my second year, so like I didn't have any internships experience or like any experience, matter of fact. So I had a search for the internship using Internshala only. So basically, if you know one or two web frameworks in web technology, you can search, like you can directly do Google search also if there is any small startups which are hiring based on this particular technology. So at start, if you if because at start, no, MNC won't directly give you a job because you don't know that much. So if you're in right after second year also, so in that case you should try to aim at small startups, because there is a high probability that they'll at least offer you, because they need people for internships. So try to
Okay.
search
Yeah.
for small startups in early phase.
Sumit, anything to add up?
Yeah, I would like to add one thing, like create a LinkedIn account. Like that is actually important to have a good network. And add on to it, like we can have the opportunities over there also. Like people do post the opportunities over there also. So you can search for internships over there also. Like if you want to search living internshala, so you can get the internships over there also.
Okay, thank you so much, Sumit and Aditya. It has been a great, fun learning session, and it was great having you, talking with you, getting your insights. And I'm sure my viewers have enjoyed knowing your experience. Thank you for joining in, and all the best for your future. And now we're ending, guys. Bye bye. See you on the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the best, guys, for your upcoming
All the
placements.
best. Yeah. All the best, guys.